Hey there, Rebus forever here. I've got to say thank you to my supporters that made this possible. Thank you to my supporters. Star Control. Wow, this franchise is so old, it doesn't break wind anymore, it breaks dust. It's so old, its first historical reference can be found in the Trials of Hercules. And just, demographically, it probably voted for Brexit. It's a bit bigger than I was expecting it to be as well, so that's a positive sign. Unless it's bad, in which case there's lots more bad. But it's not bad. In fact, I think I might be a bit in love. I expect a check in the post, AMD. So the basic premise, for anyone wondering, a long time ago, Earth had sort of post-humans that decided to leave Earth, and we're set in a sort of wider galaxy where there appears to be a sort of aggressive military race that limit other races' freedom to space, or in fact just existence. And well, as soon as we did start, as human beings, existing without their permission, they were a bit cross. And off he goes. It's going to give us a good lesson. The game features a pretty cool crafting system. There's a Starship Enterprise style ship that I've downloaded, and I decided it wasn't exactly to my taste, so I thought I'd have a bash at making one myself. So here's my second attempt at messing around with the editor. I wanted to make a Federation style ship without even having played the game, because that's important priorities. I was going to try and make a 40k style ship, and I almost certainly will, but this was my starting point. So you've got like a good degree of customization, you've got some fairly limited selection of bits, but you can alter the size of the bits to serve different shapes. Sizing things and rotating them, it's all fairly intuitive. You can mess around with the colours, and there's a whole load of different points that you can anchor different parts to on each individual item, and then it's just a case of adding as many subsystems as you can fit on. You can only have a primary and a secondary weapon, but there's a couple of spaces for devices. But anyway, for a second attempt at playing with the editor, I don't think, this is altogether terrible. All that's left now is for me to upload it to the workshop and see whether or not anyone else also thinks so. If anyone does download it, do remember that I haven't put any weapons on it, so you'll have to do that. If I can make a reasonable looking spaceship, you certainly can. The combat is a top-down affair. That will feel familiar with in terms of the physics to anyone that's ever played anything like Asteroids. There's a nice nod to like Newtonian physics. I just added the most expensive weapons and engines and everything to this ship, so your mileage may vary depending on the systems that you put on it, but take that fella. That showed him. This was just a random skirmish so I could practice the ship. You got a whole range of different ships to choose from when you are building your sort of just 1v1 offline fleets. I haven't managed to play an online game yet to find out exactly how that works, but I'm hoping to at some point. The actual gameplay actually feels quite a lot like Sid Meier's Pirates, and I expect will feel even more like that once I've got a fleet. But I suppose even the combat, because once you zoomed in when you were playing Pirates. Anyway, if you liked Pirates, you'll probably find something to enjoy in this, assuming you're not allergic to space. The game sees you in charge of Earth's fanciest and newest and bestest and biggest and other positive words spaceship, tasked with exploring and initially investigating what happened to the precursor species or race of humans that left. If you're familiar with games, however, it may not surprise you to discover that something gets in the way of all that and things go wrong. I don't know what it says about me, but the very first thing I did once I was given control of my spaceship was try and Battlestar Galactica it. Alas, you cannot land on stars. I'm normally not a fan of in-game dialogue, and even voice acting can get quite grating after a while. And I've only played this game for a few hours so far, but I'm really enjoying that component in a way that I rarely do. And that brings us on to the next little fellas, who we will get to in a second.
Captain, we've located the source of the radio signal. It looks like there's a crashed ship down there.
Which we are going to investigate with a system better than Mass Effect. More engaging, more fun. And I think later on in the game is going to turn into a bit of a shooter, which will be hilarious. You also have to collect resources whilst you're in the lander mode, so that you can sell them for ship upgrades. A reasonable portion of the game seems to be spent interacting with the various aliens that you're going to meet in the incredibly large, expansive universe. I've only just, in my gameplay, unlocked the hyperdrive, which gives you access to the broader universe. You spend a bit of time at the beginning of the game, locked into the Sol system, which is fine, it's home. And it's probably good not to overwhelm the player from the outset with the full scale of the entire universe. Ultimately, as a massive Douglas Adams fan, I feel this universe is almost like something he could have written, at least so far. I hope that the amount of effort that's been put into the writing persists throughout the game, and it's going to be a good review. This is my first actual in-campaign encounter with the first enemy that mattered, and my advice from this experience is save frequently, because you don't want to get caught out. I mean, autosave is there, and keep with it. This is my second go. I was using my tactical brain, and then I realised that I'd probably just best run away. Either way, this became quite like an epic thing. I don't know if I'm just terrible at this game nowadays, or whether or not this actual opponent is pretty hard. You've got wormholes, and as you can see, objects are having a gravitational effect on me as I go by. You can see the grid space there. When you get used to using that to your benefit, it will be pretty cool. But I lasted a lot longer this time, and I was impressed. You got some progress. I do feel that perhaps his weapons are a little bit more advanced than mine. But this fight struck me as a bit of a reality check.
You did great, Mr. Rain. You are so awesome and sexy.
Keep at it though. I wanted to get this video out on this channel because I figure I'm going to be playing this game until I've played enough to get a proper review done. So while I travel through hyperspace, I'm going to leave you with another reminder that there's another channel, not just a toy. It's where all the nerdy stuff involving retro toys, Lego, 40k, anything like that will end up being from now on. And also, simply because it's working out without sort of doing these reminders, I wouldn't necessarily have been able to buy this game. And being able to buy some newer games here and there, and put some reviews out for them, and some videos out for them, is probably going to help the channel. There is a PayPal, there is a Patreon, there is a Steam group, there's actually also a Discord now. Anyone joining any of those things, or liking and sharing any of my content, does me a massive solid. Close to 300 now with the subscribers. I'd really like to get there soon. So thanks for watching, and be excellent to each other.